So the Conference of Justice Ministers in Germany has approved a proposal to revise the country's cannabis laws. The proposal, spearheaded by Baden-Württemberg Justice Minister Marianne Guntis and Berlin's Justice Senator Feller Badenberg, address growing concerns about the impact of legalization. I'm concerned about Jason Beck's abilities to run the show. I'm kidding. Ginskins and Bandenberg argue that the current law hampers efforts to combat the black market and organized crime, especially in large-scale cannabis trafficking. They're calling for the reinstatement of undercover investigations, which were limited when cannabis was reclassified as a non-narcotic. Since partial legalization took effect in April, adults over 18 can possess up to 25 grams of cannabis and grow 3 plants at home. However, the law's restrictions on surveillance tools like phone tapping and online searches have made it harder to prosecute major drug cases. One high-profile example involved a man caught smuggling nearly 1,000 pounds of cannabis worth over $2 million. Prosecutors couldn't use encrypted chat evidence, leading to his release. Gintkes criticized the situation, calling drug dealers the beneficiaries of the law. Justice ministers are now pushing for changes to close the legal gaps. The Federal Ministry of Justice will review their proposal, aiming to reintroduce stronger investigative measures for serious cannabis-related crimes. So we'll definitely keep following this as it moves forward, because I think it's unfortunate. You hear one bad apple can sometimes spoil the bunch. This guy kicking 1,000 pounds over the border. All right, cool. Here's why I care about that, because normally I'm like, I root for the bad guy. But in a country where we're seeing such amazing progress and had such a great opportunity and still have a great opportunity, I would hate to see that hampered because of a few idiots. So I think it's really unfortunate. We'll see how this proceeds. But I'm going to throw it back to you guys to see what we think is going to happen in Germany. It's got me a little anxious. That's probably why I have a call at 1 today. So we will see what happens.
Well, Germany. This is super interesting, Jenny, because I have my last story is about Germany too, and it's the largest country in Europe, and it's an incredible market when people can get the right handle on it. So it'll be interesting to see how this all develops in regards to. But we did get a super chat in from the C Word, who says, "Could I get y'all to give me a great job, Lucky, to play for my dad in celebration of his best weed grow ever? Thanks, you beautiful stoners."
Well, we totally would, C Word. We just can't, because then we can't monetize because of copyright infringements.
Oh boy, Jenny Beth.
We can't play. Listen, we're on a roll. I am not. Mama is putting her foot down. I am not letting us hamper our progress.
Oh, look at that.
Is that a song I don't know? Great job, Lucky?
I'm guessing it's got to be a Great Job, Lucky song.
Or does he mean say great job, Lucky? Because if we could do that.
Yeah, is he saying say great job, Lucky?
Well,
if so, great job, Lucky.
Well, great job, Lucky.
Yeah, great job, Lucky. Good job. Good job,
Lucky.
Yes. We'll even give you some claps, Lucky. Yes. Good job.
You can give them some claps, but I'm around to give anybody the clap.
Speaking of the clap is back. The clap is back.
Yarrow, I need you to keep your camera on and take your.
Yeah, Yarrow, what's going on with all your stuff, bro? Like you're having issues, buddy.
I have to transition.
Oh boy, here we go again.
To the vehicle. Only to the vehicle.
Mm-hmm. Jeremy knew you had a coochie.
Yeah, that's right. He was right. You're sitting down, squatting.
How I pee should not be anybody's concern.
We're always concerned with you, Yarrow. You know what I'm saying? I can't believe you let him out of the house, Jenny.
He
escaped.
He's small.
He used the doggy door.
I thought you didn't. How did you let him off the shelf?
We're gonna have to board up the doggy door now.
You just have to know that no matter what flag you fly, red, white, and blue, the rainbow flag, the California bear, all of the above, my flag is a yellow flag.
You fly a yellow flag.
Well, back to Germany. This story for me is kind of a red flag, because it's very concerning. Germany is already after spending time over there and chairing that conference, what I heard from the medical side of things is that they are very, very, very much wanting to be very restrictive, very keep it to pills, keep it to things that don't work. Like, once again, I sat and heard a paid presentation from a company that's doing an inhaler that has already been shut down over here. You know why? Because it's not something that we should be doing. It was proven to be not the healthiest option for those patients. And so after safety recalls, that project was canceled. So I'm just seeing the fact that a government is going to possibly end up standing in line with these people who believe that rappers shouldn't use cannabis. We can't have a culture around cannabis. Nobody but people who are sick and dying should have access to cannabis. It's seeming very Kevin Sabet-like.
No Oktoberfest for cannabis.
So I think that this is something that we need to keep our finger on the pulse of, because it's very important right now. You're already not allowing these people to operate anywhere near a major metropolitan, right? So you're already restricting access and making it difficult to get to. So let's try to make sure that we cannot be the asshole that stops progress and makes us regress from what we already are possibly having the opportunity of developing in this country.
I think that's a really good point, and I do nothing but regress and digress. So without further ado, I think the promise of Germany's market has been hampered by some of these yellow flags. Like for example, they wouldn't let anybody vape in public, even though you can get shit-faced drunk in public at Oktoberfest. And their cooperative model and the limitation on the number of patients is still somewhat antiquated when we look at other regulated markets. And so I think Germany poses great prospects. But here we are covering an article where they're complaining, sort of, about a guy not being able to be convicted because they couldn't access his encrypted communications. In this country, at least theoretically, we believe it's better for a few guilty people to go free than it is for a few free people to be held guilty. And so this idea about being able to access people's communications, that's a really slippery slope. And we look what happened after 9/11 and the Patriot Act and the way in which those rolling back of personal freedom was used in a way that was inconsistent with what it was theoretically put there to achieve. And I think that's the slippery slope for Germany, is that if you start to find a way to justify a Prohibition 2.0, who's to say where that ends? I don't know, but I don't think it ends well.
You are so right about that, Yarrow. And you know what's funny is Jesse actually has a story in relation to that coming up next. Man,
I think it was interesting in that story when they were talking about they weren't able to use the evidence, the encrypted chat evidence, which means that although they knew they couldn't go get it, and listen, in hell, the Germans, the British make the cars and the Germans are the police. In heaven, the British are the police and the Germans make the cars. So do I expect the German police not to overstep egregiously? No, I don't. But the fact that this is all about the German police sitting there and stomping their feet, about the fact that they infringed on someone's privacy rights and then had the evidence thrown out because they shouldn't have fucking had it in the first place. Like, if I'm moving 1,000 pounds at one time across some state line, if you, Mr. Policeman, have enough evidence and are smart enough and sleuthy enough that you stop me from doing that and catch me with 1,000 pounds of weed in my person, vehicle, wherever the fuck I have it, because that's a lot of fucking weed, then that you shouldn't need my text messages that you illegally garnered.
That's fair. That's a fair point. You should have enough evidence and be able to have an open and shut case just on the fact that you got caught with those 1,000 pounds. And shout out to the C Word, who has another super chat, who says, "Sorry about all the misspelling, Jason." I'm glad we could figure it out up here today, you guys, what he was trying to say. Good looking out.
The power of deductive reasoning.
Yes.